Hi, everyone. Today we are joined by Diane Converse, the Executive Director of the Corvallis Environmental Center. Diane, thank you so much for making time to speak with us today.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
So I know the Corvallis Environmental Center is being very active and always involved in so many different programs, all seasons, and so I'm curious, how have things changed at the Environmental Center because of the virus? What's life been like lately there?
Well, it was a pretty abrupt change for us, of course. Most of our programming is in-person education in the schools, after-school programs, our own preschool and day camps. So all of that came to a halt in a very short space of time. And we, started working remotely and doing things, videos and other programming online. And that was a very swift change for us. And we have an amazing staff, so they adapted pretty quickly to that. But it was as we kind of share how people are doing through this, it was very much missing that in-person interaction.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's going to happen over the summer, Diane? I know you guys do all sorts of summer camps, and there's a concert series. There's yoga in the garden and just so many things. And so what can people expect this summer?
All right. Well, bad news is, unfortunately, we won't be able to offer the summer concerts. Those are events at Starker Arts Park with, hundreds of people. It's one of my absolute favorite events because it's family friendly. It's outside. You're right next to the garden, so it's a wonderful event. But just it is a large group gathering, so it just won't work this summer. That's a blow from also the revenue side, because that's one of our major fundraisers for the garden. But we are experimenting with some other options for engaging folks online. So hopefully people will stay connected and enjoy some of those. For our education programming, we're doing two things. Summer camps, we are planning at this point to do summer camps in person. Wow. They will, of course, be very different, following the guidance of, maximum of 10 kids at a time, separate groups, and bathrooms, and just the things that we need to keep everyone safe. And we're also offering, we haven't got a name for it yet, but basically Camp in a Box. So, so something that parents can pick up activity materials for and keep, and then interact with one of our educators at several points during the week. So having some activities that the kids can do, and then individually and together with other kids, and be able to share and connect online for those that are not yet ready to do in-person programming.
Well, that's interesting. So for people maybe who don't feel quite safe for whatever reason, there'll be like a camp offering that is digital, but also kind of live with maybe some neighbors or some friends that they're spending time with. And you mentioned in an earlier conversation that these few weeks and going digital enabled you to connect with a group of students who maybe never could come to the camp in the past because of their personal health. Can you speak a little bit to that? Because I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, so this whole sort of different way we're working right now and different way we're thinking has, of course, some downsides and challenges, but there's also some good things happening. And we're always looking for ways that we can reach more people and be more accessible and connect kids with nature or with our food programming. And so one of the things that has happened that's been kind of nice is being able to provide the sort of online Zoom-based interactive education programming for kids who, due to existing health reasons, cannot participate in a day camp. And so they get the advantages of interacting with the teacher, interacting with other kids online. So they're small group. We kind of piloted that this spring. It's called Natural History Live. People can look at our website and see about that. But it's been fun to see that, and it's sort of that warm moment when we say, oh yes, this cool thing is happening, and we didn't plan on it, but
well, it's a silver lining, you know,
yeah.
and then a really nice one, I have to say. You know, there have been some. I know you guys have done birthday parties in the past. Are you thinking about doing those again? Because that's one of the things that's been kind of sad for kids, is not be able to have in-person parties.
Yeah.
Are you doing those?
Yeah, we have several of our educators are open and available to do custom programs, so that if you had, say, a group of, a child and a group of their friends who wanted to get together to celebrate a birthday, we could help you facilitate that. And of course, everybody would be have their computer screen up and be able to interact with other kids as well. And that's we've been doing that with our preschool group and some of our homeschool groups, as well as some additional pilot testing we've been doing, like the Natural History Live that I mentioned. So kids love it. I mean, it's been pretty successful, and they some very cute things happen.
I'll bet.
They've been showing their drawings to each other, and imagine like 12 or 13 preschoolers in a Zoom meeting, essentially.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's that, but it does get to some of that. I think that really core need we have is to interact with other people in a live way.
Mm-hmm.
So like this spring, we started with static videos, and the staff got those rolling, and then we went to kind of the hybrid approach of having live streaming, essentially, of things, and that it really helped meet a need for human connection.
Right. Well, it's amazing, and thank goodness we have these video conference capabilities. I keep thinking about what it might have been like in 1918, where you can only go knock on your neighbor's door if you want to talk to somebody, really, and so, we're lucky that we can communicate in this way right now. What do parents need to do to register for summer camp? When does that open, and where do they go to do that?
Okay, well, we are finalizing our plans this week. Our schedule will be very similar to what is already up on our website, so people can go check that out. People can register. We are not able to take the number of kids that we have in the past, so it will be a smaller group overall, and we're going to kind of just take it in week chunks and just see how it goes. We will have changes, which, like I said, once we finish our adjustment planning this week, we'll be making some notes on the website. But for example, we won't be doing out-of-town field trips. So we'll be sticking to the parks and natural areas around Corvallis. Fortunately, there's many wonderful sites, and we'll be basing out of our facilities at Avery House Park and at Sage Garden. So we do already work in two amazing places. So that is one change. I mean, it's just to help keep everyone safe, and but there'll be more information coming up about those adjustments later this week.
Okay, well, we're going to be paying attention to that for sure. You mentioned the garden, and I know that you guys maintain an incredible, amazing garden. and that there's a lot of community uses and applications for it. Also, there's a growing hunger need in the community right now. Are you guys making a connection between your garden and people who are hungry, and what does that look like?
Yeah, so we have a 1-acre educational garden at Starker Arts Park, known as Sage. It is an amazing space. It's one of the things that we have found is that it's a very healing space for our staff to go and de-stress. So even our full-time educators have been taking a couple hours out of their time, and especially when we haven't had work for them in other areas, and just going there and really enjoying working in that space. The food that's grown there is all donated to hunger relief agencies, and of course that's a unfortunately growing need in our community. South Corvallis Food Bank is an example, but we work with about 8 agency partners to distribute that food. And last year we grew up over 11,000 pounds. So we don't know yet what this year will be like, but we're hoping to meet or exceed that. Like I said, some of our funding streams are not there that usually support the garden, but we're good for a while. And that is, we've had some like donations of fruit trees and things, so we're hoping to, we've got some additional plantings in. And we're just working away at it, and we are not able to take the sort of corporate work party, the big groups, of course, because we need to limit the number of people there at any one time. But we have been very fortunate to have volunteers who have been able to schedule time, so we've done that. And that's also been, I think, a great way for people to help who may not have extra cash right now, but they want to do something. And there's been also a lot of coordination, or I would say expanded coordination between all the partners in this, and dealing with some distribution issues, and other volunteers stepping up with other agencies to get food to people who, like seniors who may be stuck at home and not have, be isolated. So there's a massive, this is a wonderful community to work in.
It's so great, yes.
Because there are so many people just paying attention to what is needed and saying, okay, well, we can figure this out. Let's share resources, let's communicate, and let's get it done. So it feels really good to be a part of that.
Well, it does feel really good to be a part of this community. I can't agree more. You talked about your funding streams, some of them not being there right now, and this is, you're doing things with the garden that are tremendous, and you're gonna have a summer program with limited students. So, you mentioned you can go for a while. I'm curious, how can people help right now? I mean, assumingly you are trying to find ways to raise money, and
yeah, it's yeah.
So what can people do to help?
All right. Well, of course, donations are always helpful. We do have a special fundraiser going for the Food for Families program, because that one is all dependent on grants and donations. As we get our information up about the summer camps, maybe you don't have kids, but you know a family that does. And we expect to have our Camp in a Box option information later in June. We're starting the in-person camps toward the end of June, and then we expect to have the Camp in a Box information up for July and August. So that'll be a little later on, but once that comes up, again, helping us to spread the word is a second way. And I think a third thing would be just to tell us what you need. Is there there's a lot of parents homeschooling their kids right now. Is there a particular topic that is particularly challenging and you would just love to have somebody else do that for an hour?
10 of those.
Because we focus on nature education, garden education, the farm to school, but you can teach math in a garden. You can teach, writing. There's art. There's science. Um, we try and get kids outside as much as possible. So there's activities that can use those topics, but we could help coordinate an activity or something. So I think that would be really helpful if people let us know what they need.
Well, I just love this idea that the summer camp program, while it might be limited, is also being expanded with the opportunity for kids at home to have a summer camp experience, Yeah. And I think it's fantastic. As is everything you're doing. And again, I really appreciate you taking a little bit of your time to speak with us. I know there's a lot of groups that are out there kind of on the front lines of this health issue that we're all dealing with, and that they get a lot of attention. And some groups that are doing work that might not seem as related as environmental work, for example, or maybe arts and culture expansion or enrichment programs might not be getting as much attention. But we need all these programs to be thriving to have our thriving community. So I encourage people to help and support where they can. If people want to contribute, what should they do? Go to your website?
Yeah, you can go to the website. That's easy. We do have a monthly e-news that people could sign up for. Follow us on Facebook. We will be using all those methods to get the word out. So if anyone would like to send me ideas of something they are looking for in programming, they are welcome to email me directly. This is my name, Diane, at corvallisenvironmentalcenter.org. Yeah, so keep the connection going.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again, everyone. This has been Diane Converse, Executive Director of the Corvallis Environmental Center. I am Severin Williams at Benton County COVID Connection. We appreciate all of your time tuning in. And Diane, you again, thank you. Have a great day.
Welcome. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.